What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3. Now, last episode, we did find this sneaky little stone door here in the back side of the grove, but we didn't take it, so I figured we'd go explore this episode. What kind of mysteries we have in here. Now, up ahead, we can already see some enemies. Looks like some goblins. And this mysterious rune of the bear. We did see some of those inside the grove itself, so let's take this nice and slow and creep up on these.
Glowing eyes are rarely a good sign. Best be careful.
That's the guardian statue. We already got a little warning there, so let's immediately go hit this. Let's press this. Let's get this out of there before it can cause us too much of a headache.
Could wake him up by chopping off a toe. That'd be funny.
Now these people here have no idea that we're here.
Don't wear his voice.
Our gnome friend is still alive. Astarion, introduce yourself. Hit him for an 18 off the bat. He's having a real bad day. He has 1 health left. So, Astarion, you attack him with your actual action now. Triple critical hit is absolutely absurd. Yeah, he's going hard. And the rest of my party still isn't even in combat, so we can just happily take these on down. We'll just take them out from the side here.
Every breath, a purpose.
Lazel, would you like to go introduce yourself?
My pleasure.
The hide and failed won't matter much.
Out of sight, out of mind.
And now we are still hidden too. Which means I can happily go on down here and let's just throw an icicle at this guy. Beautiful. What's going on with Findor?
His breaths are shallow, his wounds deep. He doesn't respond to your voice.
Well, since we are kind of friendly with the grove, let's heal him up. On your feet, friend.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I thought I was gonna die down here.
Probably would have if it wasn't for me. How did those goblins slip into the grove?
It's my fault. I thought I'd given them the slip, but they followed me through the tunnel back there. I must tell the others what happened. I stepped careful. There are traps in these tunnels. And thank you again.
Would you like to tell me more about those traps? Well, I guess not. I was gonna say, you know, it might help me a little to know what traps you're referring to, not just the fact that they exist. Goblins weren't much of a match for us. I suppose that's the benefit of coming in here with prior knowledge. You can be very sneaky. Out-sneak the ambushes. I actually think, based on Spore Druid and how that's been going so far, I don't actually think we'll need a mage. Usually I feel like I kind of have to take at least somebody like Gale for divination, but our spells are holding up quite chunky, at least early game, so we might not even need Gale.
No traps, please.
Sometimes I even respec certain characters into a mage, like many a times I've made Astarion a mage, just because I like having a mage, and I don't really necessarily like Gale much.
Looks like a trap there.
Traps? You know what that means, Astarion. You're up. Show me the magic. Even without the +3 here from the item set, we would have still breezed it. Alright, Astarion.
Oh, for a skeleton king.
You're not done yet. You got some luck picking to do.
All's well that ends.
Show me the goodies.
Bad as it could have.
Nature's Snare would be good if we were using that, but we have our dual scimitars. Oil barrels. Alright, Lazel.
Action, not reaction.
They're gonna snag these, and we're gonna send them back to camp just in case we need them at some point. Yoink those. Get these back to camp. We might be using them at some point, like I said.
Yet.
Eager for battle. Quickly then.
Let's press this rune too before whatever this is gives us problems. Grab up that barrel. Never know when you need a stockpile of explosives, so...
Another step forward.
You see if you look closely. There's another rune down there and a corpse. I suppose the real question is, who can jump this gap? Starion is our resident sneaker, so can you jump it? You can.
That's curious.
And that's what would have happened if we didn't hit the other runes. Let's make sure we stay behind here, Starion. Can I out-stealth this? Let's see if you can sneak to the switch. If not, you could just mad dash it. You have full health. I think he's fine. He can sneak it. Beautiful. This dead human. Charred key. I assume that would have been for the charred chest if we couldn't lockpick it. I wonder.
Let's move.
Wonder if I can speak with Dead on him. See what happened to him.
The corpse remains silent.
Has nothing to say. He's not feeling chatty. I mean, I assume he died treasure hunting in here and he didn't get the wards, so he just got blown to bits. I assume that's what happened to our friend over there. So there's two exits out of this place. Let's go up there first. Could be all kind of hidden goodies here. This looks like it's trapped, so Starion, you're the one that's gonna go.
Oh dear. Someone's left a trap out for us.
Get rid of these if we can. Well, that's a stiff check, isn't it? Let's see. What if we give you guidance? Yeah, we're not getting the spent at all. Certainly not going to waste inspiration on it.
Be careful. There are traps about.
Stone slab, what do you lead? Oh, this is the room we already were in, because that's where Korga is. Okay, we don't need to. We don't need to mess with that. Let's get out of the big trapped room.
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
So that's not the way the goblins slipped in. So the way they slipped in would be this way, which means this side leads to the wilds. It's finally time to head out and explore our surroundings now that we wrapped up everything we had to do in the grove. Got a couple outstanding debts going on in there too. A lot of people took bets with us.
So good. Something over there.
Rogue's morsel.
Maybe I need more pockets. Some
Backpack to loot. And I believe right here, where we fought in the first place to get the druids. Indeed. And we did pick up a Harpers map forever ago that marked a cache, and there's that. So, let's go check out this cache. See what the Harpers left for us. Love to see my whole party with the jumping abilities. Nobody getting stuck. Dragon egg mushroom. Pretty good overview of the map here. That's another Mind Flayer pod. Does that mean there's another survivor around here in the wild somewhere? Head on up to this cache. If the loot exists, you already know I want it. Open at him, everybody. They take their sweet time sometimes, don't they? Care to join us, Lizzo?
My, what manner of place is this? A path to redemption? Or a road to damnation? Hard to say, for your journey is just beginning. What would suit the occasion? The words to a lullaby, perhaps.
This guy likes the smell of his own farts, doesn't he?
Brightly, it outfoxed the cat. Then down came the claw, and that, love, was that. They do know how to write them in Cormier, don't they? Well met, I am Raphael. Very much at your service.
Very much sleazy. Pretty words. If you want to threaten me, don't disguise it.
Why, I never. You're paranoid, aren't you? Must be the surroundings. Rather bleak and lonesome. One feels so exposed. This quaint little scene is decidedly too middle of nowhere for my tastes. Come. There, middle of somewhere.
This dude has quite the power. Nice decor.
The House of Hope, where the tired come to rest and the famished come to feed.
Love the organs in the background.
Go on, partake, enjoy your supper. After all, it might just be your last.
Your honeyed words aren't really pulling the trick over my eyes. Are these theatrics leading somewhere?
Are you not entertained? Well, far be it from me to disappoint. What's better than a devil you don't know? A devil you do. Am I a friend? Potentially. An adversary? Conceivably. But a savior? That's for certain.
Well, I know how devils tend to work. You certainly want something that is at way too high of a price in return for whatever you plan to do. What makes you think I need saving?
Come now, why play hard to get when you're in deep over your tadpoled head? One skull, two tenants, and no solution in sight.
He's very well
I
informed.
could fix it all, like that.
I do wonder if he actually could. But alas, we would never make a deal with the devil. Whatever he's peddling, I know the price is too high and there's always a catch. You're mad if you think I'll make a deal with the devil.
And what is madness but a denial of reality? Still, I've a feeling you'll change your mind before it's changed for you. Try to cure yourself, shop around, beg, borrow, and steal. Exhaust every possibility until none are left. And when hope has been whittled down to the very marrow of despair, that's when you'll come knocking on my door. Hope. Such a tease.
He's pretty good at honeyed wordplay, but anything he could ever offer me, I would tell to blow it out of his ass. I'll have the last laugh in the end.
I've always wondered what a laughing mind flayer sounds like. All those pretty little symptoms, sundering skin, dissolving guts, they haven't manifested yet, have they? One might say you're a paragon of luck. I'll be there when it runs out.
I'm sure you'd like to be. Yeah, whatever he's peddling, I'm not buying. He can keep the briefcase closed. Deals with devils are never what they seem to be, and there's always a catch in the clause somewhere in the fine print. I've been around the block enough to know that, and to know that I have zero interest in anything he could possibly do for me. Like I said, I'd rather fall on the sword than not be my own self, and that includes giving my soul to a devil. I'd sooner fall on the sword than deal with that. I'm sure we'll be running into him multiple times over the course of our journey. It is interesting to note how well informed he is, though. He certainly knows a lot about us, considering we've never met him before. Makes you wonder how he's so well informed about literally everything. It's not like he was there on the Nautiloid.
At the back of the crevice lies a bag enfolded in the chitinous squabbling of spiders. A shiny gold coin pokes from its mouth.
Tune yourself to the spider's natural rhythm.
The creatures clutch the pouch possessively. You have no doubt. A spider egg is nestled within.
You can do animal handling here. Speak softly to the spiders in hopes of calming them. Shadowheart, you can give me guidance for this. Nailed it.
Your voice draws their attention. They are suspicious, then curious, and finally, at peace. One by one, the spiders retreat to the rear of the crevice, lulled by your murmurs.
Boldly reach for the bag.
You stash the bag. Something clinks among the coins.
Let's see what we have inside our little pouch that we just got from our spooder friends. The spider egg sac and gold. I'll gladly take that. I'm happy with how often my class choices come up in the gameplay, actually. Big points for how much your beginning choices take effect in this game. It's not easy to do. It is definitely not easy to write a game to where multiple different classes have different outcomes in each scenario. You can tell they put a lot of care into that. I've never played Druid before, but I have played Paladin, I played Fighter, I played Barbarian, I played Rogue, and they all played a factor too. So I'm getting some new outcomes that I've never really had here. Even just the minor details, it all makes it feel like it plays a part.
Do you think your kin search for you, Lae'zel?
I know they do not. It is my responsibility to cleanse myself.
They pursued the Nautiloid. Perhaps they were trying to free you.
A vain notion. I am one of many, and will not be a burden to my queen.
All the interactions between Lae'zel and Shadowheart just sound like they have an undertone of insult to them. Something tells me Shadowheart wasn't asking genuine questions, though. And here's the group of people we met from
People up ahead.
up on the rock right there. Right here is that little hidden entrance into the grove that we found. I'd like to see what's going on with this.
You're a true soul. You can't die. Please, stay with us.
I don't think he's conscious. Can you hear us, Ed?
You, not a step closer.
A strange symbol glows, marked on their flesh, and something within you stirs in response.
Interesting. What happened to your friend?
An Owlbear. Please, do you have any...
Shut up, Andric. Do you serve the Absolute?
Wait.
The injured man locks eyes with you. A familiar squirming churns in your head.
I don't like that. Try to block him out.
Useless. Your minds intertwine. You see his siblings, Andric and Brenna, new recruits, yours to shepherd.
Protect them. He is a true soul. Mind him. He will. He.
Edwin! Ed! Please!
He was
He's
far more
really
adept at the
absolute now.
worm than we are.
You're a true soul. Edwin, our brother, he was chosen. Like you. Do you have orders for us? We were reporting to Edwin.
Well, we're definitely not a true soul, whatever that is, but we're definitely gonna get some explanations from them. True soul,
What? Are you testing us?
of
A
course.
true soul, like you, has been chosen by the Absolute. You speak with her voice. Your words are her command. She grants you the power to enforce her will. And when the time comes, the true souls, you will rule.
Oh, I like these two. All zeal and no brains.
Astarion. Perhaps you can help me. I'm looking for the druid Halsin.
I don't know any druids.
That's a bust there. Why are you out here? The wilderness is dangerous.
We know that all too well, sir, but the Absolute sent us here.
We're looking for fugitives, survivors from that ship that crashed farther west of here.
Oh, so they're here looking for us. These fugitives. Tell me more.
We don't know what they look like, but anyone who survived that crash is bound to be injured. That's enough to get us started. The Absolute wants them found. At any cost.
At any cost, huh? I'm a survivor of that crash. Looks like he found me.
You! Brenna! Kill him!
They're only welcome to try. Astarion, introduce yourself to Bruna. Lazo. We did get her a new crossbow at the end of last episode. She can introduce herself to Andric.
On the move.
We got our party some enchanted things. Oh, we walked her into some tangled vines. Whoop.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
You have 2 HP. We'll give her the Halo of Spores. I love the animation where they rot into dust.
Swift as my feet can carry me.
Stand on this side for it. See if we can topple him. Beautiful critical hit.
I'm ready.
Alright, Shadowheart.
My way.
I need you to hold me down here. Beautiful.
No one's stopped me yet.
Let's see if they had any orders for us that we can take out. I suppose I'll show you what I did actually in between. So we went back to some of the merchants in the grove. We got Shadowheart a spear +1 and a safeguard shield, which is buffing her saving throws. We got Lae'zel, this heavy crossbow +1. It's an enchanted heavy crossbow. She's not even adept in these, but she's still popping it off. Oh, excuse me, this is because it's doing my stats. She is proficient with these. And then he doesn't have anything yet, but I do know where we can get him another +1 dagger, so we will be doing that.
Is that blood?
Let's take a look at Brenna. Take those. Now what's going on with Edwin?
Strange power resonates within the corpse. It calls to you. Your limbs move of their own accord. There's something of value, something your mind craves. Why let its host's memories go to waste? The tadpole has absorbed it all. Its experience could nourish you, strengthen you.
I'll take a big no thank you on the tadpole influencing my mind. We are going to drop a save here. Force your mind shut. You will not be influenced by an illithid parasite. You have a +3 bonus, and guidance can secure the bag for us. beautiful.
Your muscles loosen. The tadpole breaks free of its deceased host. Your mind is your own again. For now.
Yeah, that's a big no thank you on encouraging any kind of illithid influence in our own body. We won't be encouraging any of that. I'm not going to be embracing that power. The whole point here is to break free of it. Yeah, there's plenty of camp supplies for us. We have a shaft of a broken spear. Let's send that to Shadowheart. Now I wonder. Let's see if we can chit chat with Edwin.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Is there anything valuable around here? Well, I hate to break it to you, but they're not too valuable anymore. What were you doing here?
Looking for weapon. The Absolute.
Interesting. What do you know about this weapon?
Crashed from the sky. Taken by infidels.
Is he referring to us? What can you tell me about the Absolute?
Do not fight her. Power. Such power.
Well, we've been doing just fine fighting her so far, thank you. Who are Brenna and Andric?
Sister. Brother. My job to protect them.
Well, you failed that miserably, didn't you?
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
He should have thought about protecting his siblings before he sold himself out to whatever the Absolute was. And as for not fighting the Absolute, because the Absolute is too strong, we've already took some minor victories here and there already. We've resisted the Tadpole a couple times now. Beat multiple Mind Flayers. I'm not so convinced. I think he's likely just some kind of sycophant. I don't know how they were convinced in doing all this, but I won't be convinced as easily as he was. I think there's like an open coffin down here. Let's swing this way. There was a Mind Flayer coffin over here, right? Yeah, there it is. Mind Flayer pod. We do anything with this?
An empty Mind Flayer vessel. If its occupant survived, they're nowhere to be seen.
Well, given that it's empty, I imagine they did. Whatever the cult of the Absolute is, they don't seem too eager to let people go since they have so many people out looking for us. Let's keep on going on. Now, he said it was a owlbear that fell down.
How would you punish someone who wronged you?
Wrong me how?
Well, say murder or theft.
Killing is good. It culls the weak. But theft would be paid for painfully, 1,000 times over.
Interesting.
Good to know.
Moral of the story is don't steal from Lazels.
Its nest must be nearby.
So that's clearly the Owlbear Cave. Before we dip in there, I do want to take a long rest. Or maybe not actually. Maybe we'll just go see if we can tough that out, but first things first. I have another four-legged friend I want to introduce myself to over here. Of course I want to take all this stuff.
By all means leave if I am so
I
distasteful.
love how much they hate each other.
I'd rather not turn my back on you, if it's all the same.
Yeah, it's like I said last time, though. The one time they agreed with each other on the ship will be the last time they ever do.
What's in here?
It's funny that they hate each other so much because, realistically, all of our goals are quite aligned.
You know what I really miss about Baldur's Gate? Food. Freshest fish I've ever had.
What's going on here, buddy?
Fish. Red meat.
Keep moving, stranger. Quietly.
What happened here?
I told you to go.
I don't mean any harm. Calm, friend. I mean you no harm. He's in no danger from us.
There's death in your scent, but not in your words. Still, you should go. My friend is injured. He needs rest.
He looks a little more than injured. I don't think he's going to wake up.
Of course he will. And then we'll return home.
What's your name?
He calls me Scratch. You can do the same.
Scratch it is. What happened to your friend exactly?
We were attacked. Cackling, furry things on two legs. And their smell, it was strange, rotten, evil.
You know the creatures he describes. Gnolls.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting up. Come on, you can travel with me if you like.
No, I won't leave him.
It's fair, I'm not gonna try and drag you away.
If it comes to that, I may. Thank you.
Because I think we offered for him to come with us.
Discussion.
Go on. If he doesn't wait, I'll find you.
That's good. Yeah, I noticed sometimes you encounter a little bug in this game where the dialogue options don't show and it just says continue, which is what happened there, but I think it auto-selected when I clicked continue that we showed him our scent so he can find us if it comes to it. Now, hopefully we're just totally chilling to investigate your friend here, because he's not going to be needing these apples. His personal notes. Gomwick, be doubly careful on the way back to Baldur's Gate. I've received more reports of attacks on travelers throughout the region. I can't have my best messenger winding up face down in a ditch somewhere. Watch yourself. Better late than never. Postmaster General Danzo. Davin, it's a boy. He's healthy and perfect. I've named him after his father. Come back and see us as soon as you can get leave. Love, Flora. He's a postman. 9 Fingers. I won't come back to the city. Not while you have your thugs looking for me. If you want the debt paid, you'll have to trust me and collect it yourself. Go to the graveyard and look for where an M. Kerwin is buried. Get digging and you'll find enough valuables to settle matters between us. Don't go looking for me. I'll know when I'm safe. S. M. Kerwin in a graveyard. Interesting. Well, we'll keep an eye out for a grave marked M. Kerwin in the future. Good old boy Scratch there is going to find us whenever he, I guess, comes to the realization that his master isn't going to wake up. Dogs are very loyal, so I'm not going to try and drag him away from his master's corpse like that. I don't think he would leave, but I think when he realizes, he might. I definitely don't want to accidentally instigate a fight with Scratch because, I mean, he's a good boy. Why would I want to? Right, let's go take a look at this Owlbear Cave. I was going to long rest before we came in here, but
Shouldn't have wished.
I think we might be able to tackle this without a long rest. I'm still going to save right outside the cavern just in case we end up taking an L, but we'll investigate this. Owlbears are no joke.
What's inside?
Eviscerated goblin.
That stench.
Gonna take the
Dead
heavy
owlbear
stone.
prey, no doubt.
Yeah, I'd say so, given the eviscerated corpses on the ground. Take all this nice and easy.
Looks like a shrine to Selûne over there.
Oh, I'm sure Shadowheart will be thrilled.
There's magic keeping this chest sealed. I can feel its aura.
Detect thoughts. Animal speaking. Healing. The war between Shah and Selûne. A dusty volume that speaks of the conflicts between the sibling goddesses Selûne and Shah, after Selûne ignited the sun and brought life-sustaining light and warmth to the universe. Well, let's hop on back here. For anyone who's ever wondered how you open that chest, it's this little scroll right here. But before we do that, the genesis of Selûne and Shah. An ancient tome detailing how Selûne came into being along with her sister, Shah. The silver radiant Selûne and the dark alluring Shah complemented each other and brought an orderly distinction between light and dark in the universe. Take a look at this prayer sheet. A prayer dedicated to Selûne, imploring all to accept the Moon Maiden's blessings and share in her bounty.
A prayer sheet. With the same symbol as the one on the chest.
And that would be our big old gameplay hint. Hop back over. Now let's see if our little prayer will disarm the chest.
My prayers are answered.
Seems like it did.
You should leave it. Or even destroy it, if possible.
But why?
This rubbish is an offering to Selûne. At best, it's worthless. At worst, who knows? Could be cursed. Do not trifle with that moon witch, or her trinkets. Only trouble will follow.
Seem like you have some personal investment in this. Why do you care so much?
I should have stayed quiet. You want the truth? Fine. I worship Shah, mistress of the night. Selûne's twin and foe. Now that you have the truth, please don't make a big fuss about it.
Heavens forbid. We're all entitled to our secrets.
I would actually agree with that. Who you worship isn't really my problem. You could have told me. How long were you going to keep this secret?
Forever, ideally. And you assume too much about what I can and cannot tell. Secrecy is everything for Shah's children. It is our code, our creed, our shield. I even keep secrets from myself. I had my memories suppressed, so that nothing I know could be used against the Dark Lady. Once I prove myself, my memories will be restored. I'm not sorry I kept this from you. Not one bit. Though, perhaps that might change, if you can show an open mind.
Let's see how open-minded I can be then. Tell me more.
Talk to me later. We've got more pressing matters to see to right now.
Not exactly incorrect. Yeah, it's not really my problem who she worships, to be honest, as long as she keeps it stowed and it doesn't affect her performance when we're trying to do these kind of things. It doesn't really matter much. This is actually a really good necklace, not promoting an opportunity attack when you're weak. That gives you free range of movement. Yeah, we'll definitely be taking that. I'm sure Shadowheart will be thrilled to be traveling with a Selûne idol.
What to do?
Now, here's the big owlbear. You know, let's actually, since we passed those checks, let's save up, just in case we die, because I'm not sure if I'll pass those
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.
dialogue checks again if I have to redo all this. Gotta play a little smart here. Every now and then, you know. I think Lae'zel actually needs a necklace, don't you? She's the one that's going to be in the fray a lot with her big hammer, so we'll make sure she can move around freely if she's ever weak.
One day I'll catch a break.
Now this thing is going to be very tough. It's already a little weak, so they definitely fought it before.
You feel the quake of its heavy footsteps before you see it. An owlbear, its beaked face looming out of the darkness.
This thing does look incredibly cool.
What's this? Something weak, something tender. Won't even have to chew you before I feed you to my son. Soft meat.
You're injured. There's still half a spear lodged in your head.
It's a splinter. I've gutted bigger threats than you with worse.
We're not gonna back off. I actually do want to kill this thing. It might be a little rough to just attack it in its home like this, but I do want the XP, so... Let's see what we can do about this owlbear. I wonder. It's distressed, outside normal range. Let's see what you can do, Asterion. We do want to take this thing before it has an opportunity to do major harm to us. Moonbeam. Good amount of damage. Can hit it with Halo Spores too. Get an immunity check on that.
Victory
Alright, Lazel. We disarm an attack, but it's not going to do much against. I wonder if we can frighten this thing. We can. And we got a huge critical out of that too. Let's action surge this. Hit it again.
Can't afford to let up.
Shadow Heart. Get the last line of attack here. 65% chance to hit. And we got it. Now we have Guiding Ball and Radiant Orb and Moonbeam all on this thing. That was a very good first round. You stay away from your mother because of the Moonbeam, okay? I'm not trying to have a cub's corpse on my hands here.
I wonder if this is worth the cost.
Yeah, 13 health. We don't need Moonbeam to be up anymore, just to avoid any accidents, because I don't want this little cub's corpse on my conscience. Well, we've put ourselves in quite the predicament. Indeed.
For the slaughter.
Alright, Asterion. I need you to kill it here. Beautiful.
Cub looks from you to his dead mother.
Wake. Hungry.
A single strike will end his suffering.
That's not gonna happen. We'll let the creature live.
It hurts.
Hungry. Food.
You watch, speechless, as the cub begins to eat his mother.
Well, if that ain't just the circle of life, huh?
That, or we've just prolonged its misery.
More for me.
Like Lazel has something she wants to say to us about all this.
Let's have a look.
Talk to her in a second. There's that head of a broken spear. Give that to Shadow Heart. She has the other part. What is the, let's save up now that we won that fight.
Oblivious to your presence, the cub continues to gorge himself on his dead mother.
Alrighty then. What's going on with you, Lazel?
This devil Raphael flaunts his paltry wings as if he wants to impress us. You saw the red dragon slaying his infernal kin above hell's fires, did you not? Next to a dragon, the devil's a gnat. When I am Kithrak, I will take my Queen Vlaakith his head as a trophy.
I do like Lae'zel's attitude. Kithrak, what does that mean?
Githyanki Knights, the riders that chase the Nautiloid. They are the commissars and enforcers of my Queen Vlaakith's will. Vlaakith bestows no greater honor. To wield a Kithrak's silver sword is my destiny. I will earn my Queen's favor, and I will conquer every layer of hell should she command it.
Why were these knights chasing the Mind Flayer ship?
The Geich are my kind's mortal enemy. It is not unusual for the Kithrak to give chase, to penetrate the hells. This is unusual. But I'm not one to question the wisdom of my queen. I can see but to the horizon. Vlaakith's sight pierces the many planes.
Interesting.
How much farther can I go?
You can see how much loyalty Lae'zel has towards Vlaakith.
Time to dally.
It's quite ingrained in her entire personality. Now, if we combine this with this, we'll get a new toy. We have the Vision of the Absolute, which is 2 to 9 versus 3 to 8. Still has the rush attack that we have. Absolute Knight. Blind targets that fail a dexterity saving throw. Deals an additional 2 to 12 piercing damage to certain creatures that sport multiple sets of eyes. So it has potentially 1 less damage and potentially 1 more. It is doing a little less piercing. You see there the 1d8, 1d6 plus 2 versus 1d6 plus 1. But it does have the potential to do the Absolute Knight enchantment, which can potentially blind. We'll sling that on for a little. It's certainly cool. Also worth pointing out, I think, that
what now?
Every time Shadowheart seems to suffer from that little mark on her hand, it's right after we do something considered to be a good deed. What has us encumbered? I don't recall us picking anything up. We can just offload some things to Lae'zel here. She could be our resident box carrier. Another cheeky little hidden chest over yonder. That's why I'm coming up here. Right in this sunlight beam.
Something over there.
Yeah, it seems like every time we do something good, when we saved Arabella, for example, in the Druid's Grove, her hand hurt. Then when we spared the Owlbear Cave, she got pain too, so... It's like every time she makes a decision that is of some kind of good nature, that's where she gets pain. Make sure everybody hopped across though. Don't want to lose any companions when we travel out, because we are going back to camp after this.
Always room for more.
Big pork loin. What is this? Oakfather's Embrace. Order of Nature. Undead creatures that hit the wearer receive 1 to 6 radiant damage. Beasts that hit the wearer deal an additional 1 to 6 radiant damage. Well, I'm certainly not interested in buffing my enemies that attack me, so look at that to Lae'zel ready to sell later. There's an owlbear egg.
An owlbear egg. These are supposed to be worth a fortune.
Interesting. Certainly take that.
More owlbear eggs. Already hatched. No point in taking these.
It's 5 eggs. A lot of these mini little owlbears running around. The only one that's still here. I wonder what happened to the rest of the cubs.
Now there's a bloody devil trailing after us. Well, this gets better and better. Shop around, he said. He seems sure we won't find anything. And he might be right. We've had no luck so far.
He's not. We still have options.
Maybe. But all that, take your time, I'll wait, nonsense. He's playing with us. He reminds me of, well, someone I used to know. Someone that liked to play with people. Creatures like them don't play games. Unless they know they can win.
We're not his playthings. We'll show him that.
Maybe. But he's not the only one spinning a web for us. This is no ordinary Mind Flayer Parasite. Who tampered with it, and why? What do they have planned for us? And why are we important enough that a devil comes knocking on our door? If we find those answers, we might have a chance.
We'll be finding way more answers than that going forward.
Oblivious to your presence, the cub continues to gorge himself on his dead mother.
Well, keep your strength up, I guess. That ain't a beautiful example of the circle of life. I don't know what is. And I did kind of feel bad about killing the owlbear, though. It's the owlbear's territory. We came into its home looking for a spear. We literally killed it for loot and XP. I feel a little bad about that, but at the end of the day, it did have a taste for human flesh, I suppose, right? Even if the human flesh that it tasted was a bad guy,
So,
technically.
You and Lae'zel. Seems turned.
Please
You
don't.
could say that.
But keep your guard up with her.
Note.
Intense is definitely one word for it, Astarion. Right, so we came out of the Druid's Grove, which would be here. We came out of this main door, came up here, went through there, and we dipped into this cave. So all that's left really is to head up here where we got Scratch, and maybe check out this bridge. We will be doing that next time. For now, we gotta head back to camp. We have a brand new companion we didn't even talk to yet.
I won't have a
What
look.
important matters would those be?
Not this one. Nor this one. And this one are less worthy still.
What are you doing?
Righting the balance. Beyond mortal realms, there doth exist an amalgamation of spirits akin to thine own, ensnared by the treacherous cult of the Absolute, felled in its name. They bear great discontentment with their destiny. For a mere pittance of coin, I might summon the worthiest among them to lend aid to thy undertaking.
An interesting offer. Will these hirelings be joining me willingly?
Most willingly, forsooth. Their passions doth run deep for what hath been wrought upon them.
Do you think I can trust these cultists?
Suspicion always haunts the guilty mind. My services are all that I can proffer thee. What thou wilt do with them is for thee to undertake.
Sure. Well, we won't be doing anything to do with that just yet, but it's good to know we can hire some help if we need to be. Of course, we already have. We're already overstaffed. I mean, we already have an amount of companions that we can't even really use them all, so go ahead and end the day and then we'll chit-chat to people. Alright. Let us take a round.
Bloody hells. Literally. Just when I think I've got a grasp on our dilemma, a devil shows up. No matter. We've dealt with every other oddity thrown at us lately. We can handle this one too.
I'm inclined to agree.
As for this Raphael, he knows our secret. He claims he can help. What do you make of him?
He's a devil. We shouldn't trust him. Simple as that.
No doubts at all. He seemed powerful and very knowledgeable about our problem. Not the worst prospect we've stumbled across. As long as you can look past what he is.
Yeah, I can't, unfortunately for him. I'm not going to just change my mind. We can't trust Raphael.
Good. That's what I wanted to hear. He's clever. My order uses the same tactic when dealing with enemies of Shah. You don't need a scourge or a rack to break people. Fear and self-doubt is sufficient.
He's not the only
actual
clever
pain
one I see.
comes, the victim's already done the heavy lifting for their torturer. There were no right answers with that devil. He was toying with his food. Us.
I'm glad we agree. So who are Shah's enemies? Who receives this treatment?
There are many. but they all renounce their gods when they are taught fear. Watch out for that devil.
I definitely will. Why were you in pain before?
The wound on my hand. It never quite heals. And sometimes it causes terrible pain to rip through me. It's my burden, though, from Lady Shah. I can feel her influence somehow.
So you knew more than you were letting on before. I hope you'll be more honest in the future.
I'll try my best. But secrecy is ingrained in me. Lady Shah considers it greater protection than any shield or armor.
Why would Shah subject you to such a thing?
I cannot say. Not with what I can recall. But even then, it would not be for me to question her will. Lady Shah has her reasons.
Blind faith, huh? What causes it to hurt you?
It's difficult to say. Sometimes I wonder if it's supposed to be guiding me, punishing me, testing me. But perhaps it's none of those. Perhaps it's completely random. I'd like to hope there's more to it than that. Some meaning that Lady Shah will reveal to me when the time is right. Until then, all I can do is endure.
How can you manage living with such a thing?
It's less difficult than you might imagine when you can't remember life without it. Pain is sacred to followers of Lady Shah. Pain will give way to loss and then to the peace of her eternal darkness. You can tolerate a great deal of suffering so long as it has meaning.
That is actually a very fair statement and a very true one. I want to talk about your Shah worship.
I'm sure you do. But please try to understand that it's not something I can just talk about freely.
I have no problems with Shah worshippers. That's what concerns you.
Very well. Perhaps there's potential in you. Let's see how you handle this. I am indeed a disciple of Shah. Mistress of the Night and Lady of Loss. I assume you've heard of her?
Honestly, your faith is your own concern. I won't judge one way or the other.
Curious. Most are afraid of my lady. I think I did well by joining you. Most agreeable company.
I have no reason to judge her or to argue about her faith. It's her own. It's her decision. Let's see. I want to get to know you more, Shadowheart.
You already know my biggest secrets. What more can you ask?
What drew you to Shah worship?
She took me in when no one else would. Without her, I wouldn't be alive. She's my mother. She nurtures me, cares for me, loves me. Don't believe the lies the Selûnites tell.
Tell me something about yourself, besides Shah, besides tadpoles.
What? Besides my life's calling and the greatest problem I've ever faced?
There are interesting things between the lines, surely.
I like night orchids and can't swim. Is that the sort of thing you meant?
You can't swim. You'll have to point out night orchids to me, if we ever pass some.
It's a deal.
Anything else you'd care to share?
No, I can't. Quite literally, I mean. With my memories suppressed, I can't betray Shah's secrets. But I can't remember much of myself either. If I manage to return to Baldur's Gate and fulfill Shah's mission, then my memories will be restored.
You've had your memories suppressed? That seems extreme.
Of course. It is an act of faith, not to be undertaken lightly. Shah will reward me when I succeed.
I think that I'll do with Shadowheart for now. Learn some interesting things. Let's see if Astarion has any new news for us.
Yes?
Tell me about yourself.
Oh, what's to tell? I'm a magistrate back in the city. It's all rather tedious.
What do you think is waiting for us at Moonrise Towers?
Who knows? Drow? Mind Flayers? Death? Hopefully not ours.
Best to avoid that
But
if we can, I
maybe
agree.
Answers. If we can convince the right people to talk.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about Moonrise from a lot of different things, mainly from corpses we've interrogated. Ever the practice, huh?
Be wary of false promises. The missing druid, Halsin, was it? He may be talented, but only a Githyanki Zathis can cleanse an embedded tadpole.
Are you sure a creche is our only path to a cure?
Entirely. I was as devoted to my studies as I was to my training. Each creche contains a Zathis purification device. So I learned from the writings in the Kalir Library. The library was a gift from Vlaakith herself, that we may gain total understanding.
That kind of wisdom is very valuable.
Countless scholars roam the astral sea and beyond, observing the ways of our lessers, exploring planes so distant order turns to chaos and cold fires rage. The planes are ever quaking, and their peoples ever shifting. The Githyanki possess an eternity of knowledge. Yet we still collect more. Infinities upon infinities.
The Githyanki are a very interesting species, actually. The way they hop between astral planes, the kind of like the sworn enemy of the Mind Flayers, too. We'll learn more about them as we progress, and specifically Lae'zel, too. See if Gale has a take on the devil.
Do you feel as flattered as I do? Fighting to dine with a devil.
Not sure flattered would be the right word that I'd use, but you have a strange definition of flattery.
Believe me, that was a devil's equivalent of serenades and roses. Don't let his bluster fool you. All that talk of desperation merely illustrates his own. I think he wants something from us, badly. And in that knowledge lies our opportunity.
But what is it that this devil wants so very badly?
Our souls. But I suspect that's but his opening offer.
Let me play the devil's advocate. The man is too eager. Do not dismiss his offer out of hand.
If there's one quality all the denizens of the hells embody, it's ambition. A quality they share with many humans, come to think of it.
What do you think Raphael's ambition could be?
I'm the foggiest. But, based on the evidence before us, we can make certain deductions as to why he sought out our merry band. Fact 1, there's something very strange and very powerful about our tadpoles. Fact 2, a devil offers to take it away. Devils aren't known to aid mortals out of simple kindness.
Always a catch.
Whatever Raphael wants, we must be the key to getting it, along with our tadpoles. So, I say for now, we wait. If I'm right, Raphael will seek us out again, and when he does, there's a mighty bargain to be made. Remember his Cormyrean rhyme? Down came the claw. Perhaps we should start growing our nails.
The last sentiment I agree with, although there will be no bargain to be made with the devil. I am curious if Raphael honestly could even do what he says. Could he just yoink the Mind Flayer tadpole out of our head just like that with a deal or a contract? Is that even how that works? Do they have that kind of influence? Because, as we'll see progressing forward in the game, removing this thing is no easy feat.
The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think?
There's always a catch, and especially in wordplay. With the right teacher, yes. What are your thoughts on the devil, Will?
Refuse him no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost's always too great.
I'm inclined to agree. Don't worry. I have no interest dealing with the devil.
That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with. And then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure. But the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything.
Personally, I wouldn't give up anything for a cure. Like I already said, I'd rather fall on the sword than give my soul up to a devil. Just the same as I'd rather fall on a sword than give myself up to becoming a Mind Flayer.
The Blade of Frontiers at your calling.
Tell me, Will, how did you come to be the Blade of Frontiers?
My father once said, one does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call. So it was for me. I was hunting near the Cloakwood when I heard it. A child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse bled into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after.
What act could be finer than saving a life? You must have felt proud.
Proud? No. Angry. Angry at the monsters preying on innocents. Angry at the so-called good gods for tolerating the cruelty of the evil. Angry at myself that it took so long for me to see the coast suffering. The frontiers demanded a blade. And so I heeded.
And you had to make a pact with the devil for that. Yet you were chasing a devil in the hells. How did that come about?
Karlach's fires raged in Baldur's Gate before she escaped to Avernus, as my source told it. And she was planning to return. One of the archdevils Ariel's own, chaos incarnate, a devil with pure fire for a heart. I made my way to Avernus to stop her. She fled from my reach, even climbed aboard the Mind Flayer ship as it screeched through the hells. I followed in close pursuit. I can't bear to imagine the lives Karlach might be taking, the damage she might be doing.
And him chasing her into the Nautiloid is how he ended up with a parasite. I wonder if his target caught one too. Who is this source of yours?
A powerful friend with a keen interest in privacy. I'm sworn to say no more.
A powerful friend, huh?
All right. What else is on your mind?
I've noticed your stone eye. Did you lose it in battle?
A most vicious one, in fact. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days.
Seems fair, I won't pry too much. Alright, we got to know some more about our companions, made a good, cool little trip around camp. Learned the most about Lae'zel and Shadowheart out of all that, I think. Astarion didn't have much to say other than he was a magistrate in Baldur's Gate, and something tells me that's not quite the truth, but alas, that is going to be a big ol' wrap for this episode, so thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, there is, as always, a tip link in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you soon with more Baldur's Gate. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.